Hello, my dears, and welcome. Today we are talking about the divine feminine. Stepping into your feminine, stepping back into your feminine. This is more of a discussion and kind of like a little bit of validation for you for how you might be feeling right now. In no way is this going to be like a strict, like, this is what the divine feminine is and this is what the divine masculine is, because these are things that live inside of all of us. So let's chat. Today is a perfect day for me to, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I kind of like to live into the vibration of the sign that I'm talking about, the thing that I'm kind of discussing. And so today, the day before a full moon in Leo, where I got my period unexpectedly a few days ago. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm open to feeling all of my feelings, and I'm working from home and in between two worlds. So it's kind of the perfect time to chit chat about the divine feminine. I wanted to show you this, why I don't have the microphone attached. I'm literally wearing, this is a blanket. This is literally a blanket. Hold on, it's literally a blanket. I'm in the North Shore of Massachusetts, and it's chilly out there, girl. It's chilly. So let me put this on. Do that. I'll put my hair over here so we can, I'm going to try to put it up there. Put my blanket on. I literally have like tissues falling out of every single crevasse. It's good. It's so good. So welcome to our, maybe first talk in this, depending on, where it goes. Who knows, but welcome. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Sarah, and it is a pleasure to have you here at my table. I am a mystic, a quantum healer, spirit counsel. I usually pop up in your life when you've been repeating the same patterns, or when you feel like you're in the middle of a multidimensional, metaphysical, quantum battlefield, and you need a safe space in the middle of your life to take off your armor. I set up a little bit of a tent, and we just talk. That was talking and chatting at the same time. So please go grab your coffee or tea. Go grab your journal if you would like. I don't know what's going to kind of come through, and I don't have all of the answers for this one. I'll give a little bit of my backstory, I guess, and because, stepping into my feminine changed my entire life, changed my trajectory, it changed my channeling, it changed my capacity to do what it is that I do. And there were many times when I was heavily into my masculine, or also heavily in an androgynous space. Definitely, I have a whole playlist on my Waking Up Post-Woke series, many hours of my story and what I've gone through personally. So if you're interested in more of that backstory on my human tale, please go check out that playlist. I put them all over there. And a lot of the themes that I found during my most androgynous times, during the times where I was wearing they, them, I was trying on they, them fairy pronouns. And what I recognized were, I had an IUD in my body. I was going through very odd sexualization and processing my father issues. And, the more masculine I was trying to present, the more attention from a divine masculine, or any masculine. Literally, when you're in that confused space, you don't care. It'll remind you of your deepest trauma, and you're like, you feel like a warm blanket. I like you. So that's for me. And when, that's interesting. I don't know if I mentioned the IUD in that. I think I did on the introductory video. But so, I'm going open for this one. And like I said, I have a period right now, and it's a blessing to be a female. It wasn't even my full intention when I got the IUD taken out. I know I've been very expressive. I'm not meant to have children in this human life. And so I thought at that time, this is easier. I don't even want a period. I don't even want this. Like, make it so that I don't even have to think about femininity. And the more I processed traumas and went deeper and deeper, I recognized that when I was, when I had my first period, when I was like 12 something years old, and this is in that series, but I'm just going to leave this here. It was so painful for me. It was so painful that I was immediately put on birth controls. I was immediately told to take a leave, like handfuls of. And so after all of that, I recognized, you've been on certain hormones, you've been on birth control, you've had an IUD, your human body doesn't even know what it means to be natural. And this is after I had removed tap water from my diet. I had removed all fluoride. I don't ingest processed sugar on a regular basis. Like, I'm very blessed that, my intolerances only bring out the spots on my body. And I'm learning to love those spots, and I'm very, very honored and grateful that I don't have the most intense allergic reaction to these things. So I'm blessed that when someone brings me a treat, a pastry, a cookie, of whatever it may be, when it's made with love, I'm able to ingest it. This is my last human life, and I enjoy those things. I really enjoy those things. So I had found that when I removed, I have a very addictive personality. Even healing sometimes can be very addictive. So when I was, really wanting to heal the spots in my body, I was like, okay, you're going to take gluten, you're going to take sugar, you're going to take dairy out of your diet altogether, completely. It was like a full detox. It was a full detox, like physically shaking, 3 days of just a complete purging out of my system of that. So that, and during that time, I also recognized, I was like, I want to feel, because it's my last human life, I'm choosing for that to be, I was like, I want to feel what it is to be a woman. What it is to be a woman. And to be able to have a period, I want to feel it all. And so I got the IUD taken out, and it took my period about a year to come back. So much so that I even went back to the clinic to ask them if everything was okay. And they were like, we could give you a pill to, I love my clinic. There's absolutely, I feel so safe going there. And there is a beautiful blend between Eastern and Western medicine, healing yourself and being able to have these resources. I can't speak more highly of that. It's just the manipulation of it and the over prescribed, oh, you have a problem? It's your lifestyle. Don't change your lifestyle. Here's a pill for that. So they wanted to help me. I wanted to be efficient. I wanted my period back. So they're like, we can give you a pill and it'll make it come back. I was like, no. It's totally okie dokie. I got this. And it took about a year for it to come back. I also, during that time, started to grow my hair out. I would shave the sides of my head, just this area. And so this is about how long, it's been. And so as I started to grow my hair out, wasn't ingesting fluoride, wasn't ingesting sugar. And gluten, I just wanted to highlight just for a moment, because I've heard this before. Gluten makes me sad. Like, if I eat gluten on a regular basis, I kind of get a little bit depressed down. So I just wanted to offer that validation for someone out there that I actively choose to not eat gluten on a regular basis, so that when someone makes a beautiful bread or a beautiful cookie, I'm able to eat that and enjoy it as it is, and then let that not be a part of my everyday. So I just wanted to offer that to you, that it might not be a physical reaction. Sometimes it clogs things up, so it takes a few days for things to go back down again, but it's just an offering to you, that might be kind of what you have been feeling. But now, so that was a little bit of a backstory and a little bit of kind of the things that I did that was unexpected. It was unexpected that I came back to my feminine because of removing fluoride and removing hormones and removing all of these things. I've been in polyamorous relationships before, and now I don't identify as queer. I'm very grateful for the times that I, had very queer relationships, and they were beautiful, but I'm in no way queer anymore. So and that came from the IUD, that came from the hormones, and that came from all of that, as well as processing and unpacking. So I'll just leave that all there. So a few questions that you might want to ask yourself, or a few different things that I had made some notes, I kind of wrote, you're stepping into your feminine, the yin and the yang, and being in the middle. What does the feminine represent for you? What does the masculine represent for you? And write lists. Like, what does feminine represent for you? And what does masculine represent for you? And then think of the yin and the yang. So I'm very divine feminine. There were aspects of my divine masculine that stepped away for me to really step into this vibration and nurture and nourish that, because I have not been feeling that. I had not been living into that vibration. And it was even attached to my money at the same time. Whereas I recognized that my pattern was kind of like hustle, 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 I got a bunch. And then as soon as I want to relax, boom, it goes away. Hustle, 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 hustle. I got to figure it out. I got to work 100 hours a week. I got to do the things, and I got to have the title and prove and prove and prove. And then boom, it goes away. And so I recognized that, yes, it is possible for a divine feminine to wear the mask of divine masculine and make things happen. It's possible, but it's exhausting. I personally felt like I was lying to myself. I personally felt like I was manipulating myself and convincing myself that this was the only way. I was convincing myself that, you had to work forever and, hustle hard and then it will come. Where I was giving no space for God to provide. I was giving no space to receive. No space at all to receive. I was giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, which is a very masculine thing. During this time, I even had trouble receiving compliments. I would get very uncomfortable when someone would compliment me, no matter what it was. It didn't matter what it was. It would be, thank you for holding the door. It could be, oh my gosh, you look beautiful today. And I would immediately, without even saying thank you, say, oh, but you look so beautiful. You're gorgeous, honey. You're gorgeous. And I would be, oh, thank you for holding the door. Oh, I saw a queen walk by, so I had to wouldn't even say thank you. I wouldn't even receive the compliment. So it was, if everything is energy, we know this. We know this. If you're not open to receive compliments, if you're not open to receive well wishes, you're not going to be open to receive abundances, generational wealth, all of these things from the feminine, I just have to highlight that. It was interesting that this was the card that I have my personal spread up today. And this Empress, divine feminine, run by Venus, Taurus, tits out in the garden, having a gas. So relaxed. Yeah. Oh my God, her minor is here too. That's so funny. This is the card that I pulled to get the major arcana. I was like, that's you, girl. But in my channeled message that I had done in my Patreon group for the new moon that we had, what was it? In Capricorn, pardon me. I was wearing, I had made a scarf. It's like a hat scarf thing, and I called it the Kraken. And it's literally like yards long. And when I was knitting it, I was like, I want this to be like, if Gandalf were a woman, what do you look like? And that's literally what I feel. Like these two blended together. So I'm getting a little off track, but that's okay. That's feminine for you. We're wilds. We feel things so deeply. So I wrote some things down for myself as far as what right now divine feminine means to me. And so this is my list. This is not a doctrine list. I would recommend and highly offer for you to make your own list. So you can identify, okay, when am I in my divine feminine and when am I in my divine masculine? Wild, emotional, feels deeply, soft, vocal, sensual, mothering, caring, nurturing, powerful, queen energy, lioness, flowing, and ever-changing. What else would you add to that list? Please comment below. What does divine feminine mean to you? This is a conversation. I'm just enjoying life today, and I wanted to share this time with you and be here with you. Or don't even have makeup on, and I'm just Yeah, this is divine feminine, and it can be very awkward and uncomfortable. I would also love to highlight that if you're new to my channel and this is one of the first videos that you've ever watched of mine, I came from corporate. I've been training teams and guiding people and teaching others, whether it be entry level in restaurants, in physical therapy, chiropractic, cafes, whatever it may be, natural food markets. I've been training people and teaching and guiding and leading teams for the better part of 10 years. And that gives me the capacity to be able to offer this to you in an accessible way. It was also in one of my, I was managing a team. I was on call pretty much 24 hours a day. I was wearing all sorts of hats, writing policies and procedures, training every entry level person. Like, it was doing a lot, but I was dying inside. And my HR director at the time, because I was crying to work every day, and I was crying leaving work every single day. And she gave me permission. She said, I'm going to give you permission to quit. You're allowed to. You don't have to sacrifice. I want to make sure you can hear me. You don't have to sacrifice yourself for the team, for the greater good. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to do it in a self-sacrificial way. It just feels awkward and it feels uncomfortable for the feminine that are really stepping into their feminine right now, whether you have left a corporate job, whether you are now homeschooling, whether you were more androgynous and now you're really stepping into your feminine. It's, I see these types of things, and it's, I had 2 clients within a few days ask me for more divine feminine content. What that means, because it's, I don't want to say like a clickbaity type thing, but it's a hot topic in the collective right now. And whenever that happens, it's confusing. There's infinite information all over the place. And so we want to research. We want to do it the right way. And we want to be, if you come from me, if you're a leader, yeah, you want to do it right. You want to be efficient in your processes. And you're like, okay, I'm going to be very, very quick to step into my feminine. And okay, I'm going to do it. Be ready. You're about to feel everything. You're about to feel everything. And we're still in the breaking down of our old constructs, of our old world. And we need to really step into what it is that we want for ourselves. What is it that we want our lives to look like? And also, I'll go back to the money manifestation. And, if we're trying to attract a partner, or if if our end results, we're writing down, I want to make $100 million. I want to write this down. We're scripting it. We're asking the universe for it, and blah, 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 blah. And we want to be able to have that money for whatever reason. What's underneath that? When you meet your divine masculine king and he's effortlessly able to support you and, take you out of your masculine and take care of you, would you take the job or would you take the king? So if your end goal is to be in your feminine, and you want to be able to wear the masculine hat for a few minutes, attract the money that you need to attract, and then be able to utilize your money to create the safety bucket that you expect your king to have, he will provide that for you, then that's a very different type of manifestation. You cannot lie to the God of your understanding. You cannot lie to energy. You cannot lie in any capacity. You can use your feminine, you can use your woo-woo. If you are in a partnership right now, divine feminine and divine masculine, you can sink into your feminine and manifest for your husband's company to prosper. You can do work from that capacity. One cannot be the other, and one cannot be without the other. We're not meant to do things on our own. We're not meant to. So, treating yourself like the queen. I know that that's, something that we can get a little stuck in, and being like the lady in waiting and the maiden energy instead of the queen energy, where being in your feminine, like, she don't give a fuck if someone's coming to save her. She doesn't look like she needs saving. She doesn't look like she's moving very quick either. She literally wears these stars and the planets as her jewelry, her crown and her necklace. The glyph of Venus right here. And I love that she nurtures her pentacle. She nurtures it. She nurtures it. And I have to highlight something that's popping into my brain right now, because when you step out of your masculine, when you've been in your masculine too much, ladies, and this comes from corporate, this comes from the hustle culture, this comes from working, and I've had numerous clients in the past, I want to say even 4 to 6 months, that, you know, are either now stay-at-home moms that came from corporate, or, you know, are now, yes, kept stay-at-home moms. I've had 2 specifically that I can think of off the top of my head that feel this anxiety, this feeling of waking up and your body still has that, okay, I'm ready, I'm good to go, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna, you know, keep up with the boys, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna, you know, I have to keep up, you know, I have to wear like a shirt that covers everything because I don't want them to sexualize me, and blah, 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 blah. Like that monkey mind, it will take time. It will take time, and you might feel absolutely exhausted in the process of it, because as you're feeling all the feelings that old past version of you, you know, we'll have to go linear on this one. Actually, we're going to go quantum. So think of all the past versions of you, and you're feeling the emotions for her. You're sinking into the new vibration of the future version of you. And then as you do this work, you're tapping into the collective of the females that do not have access to feeling this and that aren't able to feel this. You're also feeling all of the pain of Mother Earth and what she's been feeling and the abuse that she's been feeling. You're also feeling all of the war and all of the, you know, murdering of children and all of the sexualization of children. You're feeling the fears of the mothers that have to put their children into the school systems because they're in financial fear and they have absolutely no idea what ideology is being projected onto their child. So yeah, it's going to be emotional and it's going to be exhausting. And it will feel as though you can cry at the drop of a dime, and then you're going to or you might feel as though you have to apologize for that because there was a time that you as an empath were told that you were too emotional. You know, especially for my water signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Yeah, you're not too anything. You were just born in a time where this all needed to come up and break down. The set pieces of this old world that we cannot function in are breaking down. So you're feeling the demolition, you're feeling and trying to birth the new you, you're feeling the collective, you're feeling all the feelings that you never were able to feel from your childhood until now. Oh, and then you're expected to go to work. Yeah, and then you're expected to play the game, and then you're expected to put your emotions and feelings on a shelf. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the male brain is different than ours. The female brain is a multitasking brain. Think of how many things in this moment, pause this video, and think of how many things you got going on in your brain in this moment. In this moment. Okay, I know I gotta do this. This is over here. I'm listening to this. You might even be watching me, drinking your tea, making a note, and then having something else on in the background, or you're keeping an eye on the children, or you know this, and then I know that I have to do this. You don't even need a to-do list. It's already listed in your brain, and then you've got 4 other things going on, 7 other tabs open. The male brain is problem to solve, I will solve it, what's next? Problem to solve, I will solve it, what's next? Problem to solve, I will solve it, what's next? One track mind. One track mind. Yeah. 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 So it's awesome to have that skill set. And this is where certain things get looped in. Whereas you can go into a structure that's male dominated. You can go into a structure that is, 9 to 5, where we flow with the moon. We have a cycle and we're not meant to be a part of that box. We don't fit in a box. We don't. The analogy of like we are water and we are flowing, but yeah, you can freeze yourself and put yourself into a cube and then put yourself into that box, but then you're just like, okay, I'm here. We're not meant to in any capacity. We're meant to be emotional. We're meant to feel these feelings. We're meant to help heal all of the things we are. And we can get overwhelmed with what's happening If you're overwhelmed with what's going on in wars all over the planet, or in whatever crevasse that you've chosen to be focused on, you can, instead of trying to scream and say, why does no one care? And what's going on? How are you not enraged by this? No, I'm feeling that, and I do very deep meditation, and I send love to that area that's most important for me. I send love to the children. I send love to the tunnels. I send love to the sexualized kiddos. That's my passion. I have been sexualized as a child. So that's where my heart calls me. So where does your heart call you? And pray for them and meditate for them. If prayer is a language, I'll parlay over, I've spoken of spirituality, I've spoken of meditation. And so from a religious component, if you have a divine masculine connection to Yeshua, if you have a divine masculine connection to one of the archangels, Archangel Michael could be a great one. Like, I'll explain why I'm mentioning this in a moment. Talk to them. Tell them your frustrations. They do not tire of listening to you. They do not tire of holding space for you. Give them a problem and they will want to go solve it. So one of the biggest, heartbreaks that I feel for the divine masculine is the attack on the divine masculine. That was very specific. It happened, and it's something that happened when I was very in my feminist and noticed coming out of it, where, fuck men, fuck the patriarchy, pardon me for swearing, fuck the patriarchy, men are dumb, men are this. Actually, men are awesome. Like real men, real divine men, capital M, divine men. And what you might have recognized is that a lot of the people that you've seen in your world, or when you start to do this work, is that the men around you are boys that aged and that might still be having the same conversation that they had in high school, might still, poke fun and, there's nothing with having a jovial, funny, this, that, and the other thing. But if it's the same rhetoric that's been going on since high school, those aren't men. Those aren't men. Men are looking forward. Well, divine beings are looking forward, but it's, something that if we start to do the member berries a little bit too much, like, oh my God, remember when? Oh my God, remember when? Oh my God, remember when? That gives us, our brains, a little bit of a soggy sponge type of a feeling. That I come out in my channeled message in my Patreon group. Just the links are always below for that in my about section. If you're interested, it was in my channeled message for, I had set the intention to kind of have divine masculine, divine feminine talks come through. And so when we think back, my guides equated it to our brains become this really soggy sponge, and that, that you left overnight. And so when you wake up the next day, it kind of smells. It's kind of like it's still a working brain. It's still a working sponge, but it's saturated with something very old in there that maybe doesn't serve its purpose. Our brains are limitless, powerful, limitless muscles that when you give it a focus, it will create it without question. What you focus on, you create without question. So, I remember now. So, the feminist way is, think of Family Guy, think of The Simpsons, where you got like a dumb, fat, like the dad bod type of a thing where he can't figure out how to do things, and the woman actually has to mother him. Like, that's a mess. And really not divine in any capacity. You're worthy of respect, and when you're a queen and a king, you treat everyone as a king or a queen. So if I do have a divine masculine man watching this, and you have someone in your life that's belittling you, that's putting you down, straighten that crown, my king. straighten that crown, and you can utilize very powerful statements like, I won't entertain that anymore. That's inappropriate. Very brazen statements, however you want to play it. But seriously, don't start the fight, but finish it verbally if you can. But utilizing those, and don't run from this. And do not run from this. If you are a divine masculine man watching this, like, thank you for the work that you're doing. So the reason that I was mentioning that from the beginning, and I, was chatting with someone the other day, and we have, a close person in my life, and we have somewhat different belief systems, but we agree and are very respectful. And so we were talking about, the feminine, we were talking about masculine. And the person that I was talking to was saying, I want a female-run world. Females are so much smarter. We're not as emotional. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I can only speak from I statements. And as a divine feminine female, I am very emotional. I take up a lot of space. I channel from multiple dimensions, multiple quantum universes at the same time. I feel very deeply, and I am very emotional. I don't apologize for that anymore. When did we say that emotions were bad? Why, and what is too much? What is the box? What is the puzzle piece? Who told you at what time how big emotions, how big they're allowed to take up? How much space they're allowed to take up. And so after this person was chatting or talking, I was listening. And so afterwards I said, thank you so much for sharing. So much of that I believe, but I don't agree with you that men are, the emotional ones. I think that men are awesome. They're respectful, they're compassionate, they're kind and patient, they're forward thinking, they are leaders, they're amazing. They're delicious, they're healthy, they're awesome, they're worthy of worship. I'm so excited to meet my king. I cannot wait to spoil him from head to toe. Can't wait, cannot wait. And so what this person had said to me after a bit of back and forth and processing, she just said, I really don't know any men like that. I don't know any men like that. So that maybe that's why I have this feeling. That's why I have this vibration, is because I don't know any men like that. And so what I've recommended before is start to follow and listen to divine masculine men, start following their content, and start following, definitely Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness. I couldn't recommend that page more. And it would be a great place to start because you can see, he has, weekly, if not more reoccurring divine beings, experts on his podcast. And so I'm free on YouTube. So definitely go check out Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness. And, from that space, I've, seen different other divine masculine beings. And, sometimes it will start with a lot of what you can see is very healthy men that keep the fitness forward men. Physical strength, mental strength are definitely equated. So that's kind of the first place to start. And what you'll find is that these divine masculine men, more often than not, are starting programs and putting together schools and safe spaces for other divine masculine men and to raise boys to be men. So that's a little bit of the divine masculine that I want to say. What does divine masculine represent to me? This. Treat yourself like the queen that you are. So I'm going to try to wrap this up a little bit. So, because I feel like a lot of what the person that might be really attracted to this video might feel as though that they're in the middle, or that they've stepped out of their masculine, or that they're kind of experiencing this feeling of, I had a client, one of the clients that had asked about this talk and said, I have a really dear friend that's super duper in her feminine, but she thinks that she's in her masculine. So she doesn't recognize how feminine and how wonderful she is in that space. She doesn't even see it. And that friend had really spoken to, give the masculine inside of yourself the container that it needs. if we know that the masculine is meant to be a container and a protector and a provider for the feminine, then feminine, give the masculine that you need inside of yourself, that you have inside of yourself, give it the container, give it a label, put a little like, okay, I got to put on my masculine hat when I do this, and I'm going to be in that space, and I'm going to utilize more and more masculine capacities, and then I'm going to step back into my divine feminine. The yin and the yang. There's the white spot in the dark, and then there's the dark spot in the white. You have that inside of yourself. We all have that component. But if you are a divine feminine, you're going to feel it. You can't have halfsies and halfsies. You can't be a switch. You can't do that. You got to, if you're divine feminine, every time you try to be in your masculine, create your masculine, it's just not going to stay. It's not sustainable. It's just not. I can only speak from my statements. I can only speak from what has worked, what has not worked for me. But it's very triggering. It's very triggering. Just be like, oh, okay, so I'm flowing with my energy type. Now I'll speak from my statements. In human design, I'm a projector, which means that I do not have a divined aura. I, have a penetrating aura. So when I'm around others, that's why I'm so good at what I do, because I can see right into you and give you a new way. Literally, the parable that I gave at the beginning is my energy type. Yeah, Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto in the 12th house. Projector in human design, splenic authority, waiting for the invitation, 33 life path. I'm meant to be doing what I'm doing. But I've mentioned this before. For the projector. Projectors literally are only meant to work for like 4 hours a day max, and then our energy goes down. It goes down because the amount of channeling and capabilities that happen in that 4 hours is more than, generators do in 3 weeks. That's the energy type. That's not me being egoic. That's just the energy type. So I struggle because of the corporate, because of my past, and because I'm on mission, that when I have time down, I'm like, create a program. Yep, create a new program. Do it now. Absolutely, do it now. Create a new program. You can help so many other people. You can do this. And I'm like, okay, you want to create a program, but you have already created all these programs. You trust God's divine timing to bring you the most aligned clients. Why would you keep creating active or masculine things instead of waiting to receive and nurture and nourish the programs that you've already created and trust in the timing? Yeah. I was doing that the other day. It was about like a month and a half ago. I was kind of floundering. I was like, just put on some music, girl, and sing and dance around the kitchen. And that's definitely something that between tasks or between time blocks, I'll put on music and I'll kind of dance through it. And as I was dancing and I was singing and I was just letting the universe kind of just effortlessly, find, please, like I know YouTube and I have such a good relationship. YouTube's got my back. They're just sending me the divine clients that I'm looking for, and they can find me effortlessly, find me with ease. In that moment, I had someone sign up for my Patreon group, my New Moon and Full Moon Workshop Patreon group. Yeah. It's just a complete trust fall with the universe, with your emotions, with your energy type. It's a complete trust fall that you go on. And as an emotional being, as an empath, that there's more going on than what's in front of your eyes. So let's see, what are some recommendations? Definitely, there's one of my Monday videos called Who's Your Daddy? It was like a week or so ago. And my Monday videos are always, the picture is horizontal instead of vertical. So definitely go check out that video, because I think it could be a nice way to define where your boundary is between divine feminine and divine masculine, or where you've given your power to an outside source, to an outside resource. And why, just a little bit of a deep dive of saying, okay, well, what have I labeled as my divine masculine? God, the manifestation babe, I absolutely love her. She's like, God, universe, spirit, that's your sugar daddy. So when you need something, they provide. Yeah, money is your assistant. Money gives you the capacity to do the things. But if we make money the dom, they don't know what to do. Money doesn't know what to do on its own. Money is an energy source. You're the one that needs to tell the divine masculine, whomever you've given that label to, God, say, God, I need this. I need this. I want to be able to do your healing work. I want to be able to be in my feminine. I want to be able to feel every emotion that I have around me. This is what I need. This is the number. And make it so that that number is effortless and joy-filled, and have that be your manifestation. You know, there's so much that's attached to this. There's like thousands of different, like, please comment below. Do you want me to say like divine masculine, divine feminine attached to money, divine masculine as I'm looking for partnership? Are you in between corporate jobs? You're trying to escape the matrix. Please give me a little bit of direction as to where you would want the next talk to go. Please help me help you in the best of my abilities. And I will go through all of those lenses. How you can look for it in your astrology. Look to your Venus placement, your natal Venus. How do you receive love? What are your love languages? How do you receive feminine? How do you receive? And where do you flounder in that time period? Same thing with all the manifestations. When we're ordering the, I used to say, ordering the bolognese, but I will, if you're watching this, my friend, bolognese. You order the bolognese al ristorante, and you ask the waiter, God, how do I even say waiter? Cameriere, I want to say. Cameriere, ma'am. Is that how I pronounce it? Please let me know. When you order the bolognese, and you ask the waiter for it, you ask for your manifestation, you ask for your king, you ask for it, your food, whatever it may be, and the waiter puts it in to the toast, orders it, beautiful. Do you get up a few minutes later? You're like, excuse me, where's my order? Where is it? God, where's my money? Where is it? Where's my man? Where is he? I want to leave you with the day after, because I know that it can be somewhat confusing and, to me personally, very triggering, where it's like, act as if. That phrase to me, because my human has experienced anxiety, has experienced depression and, mental health issues. So it can be I've experienced that moment. So it's very triggering to my human avatar, because I've had people be like, just act like you're happy and you'll be happy, which eventually, yes, does work, with tons of unpacking and processing and meditating. So I'm just saying that that's, for me personally, the parable that actually works for me personally is the next day. So you just had a great date with the person that you really feel a great connection with. You wake up the next day. You kind of know that he's your king, and you wake up the next day. How do you feel? You have received the amount of money God plopped it into your bank account, it popped up in the living room, whatever it may be, without pomp and circumstance. Nobody knows about this. The next day, how do you feel? You probably move a little slower. You probably pop out of bed and just kind of smile, and you're like, wait, I just have complete time freedom? I can just nurture and take care of myself? I could go to a restaurant today and just get lunch. Oh, I can pay back that investment that I can take care of that. Oh, I don't have to worry about anything. Oh, okay. It's going to feel a little awkward even when you do receive it. It's going to feel a little bit strange and a little bit interesting. So be awkward with it now. Your thoughts will come up, but you don't have to ingest them. Everything is energy. Food is energy, content is energy, and we're ingesting all these things. Thoughts are also that you don't have to, not all thoughts are meant to be entertained. Yeah. Like, have you ever had an intrusive thought when you're cutting vegetables and you're like, cut your thumb off? You're going to entertain that? No. You're going to let that intrusive thought go away. driving down the road and you're just like, oh, 10 points. No, you're going to keep driving. You're not going to do that. Not all your thoughts are there to be entertained. Not all your ideas are the healthiest one for you. But I really like the parable of the next day. You're waking up the next day, because it's very accessible for my mind. So maybe that could be helpful for you. I don't know. And the queen energy, I know I've tried to end it. I've returned to the king to you many a times. I apologize, but whenever you choose to check out, that's your own business. But oh my God, I lost the thought. Queen energy, queen versus maiden energy. Think of Cinderella. She did not expect anybody to come. She was vibing. She was happy and dancing around with all of her little things. And so if you feel like that, but you're sitting around waiting, where is he? Where the fuck is he? He's not responsible for your happiness, girl. You're responsible for your happiness. That's a tough pill for me to swallow as well. There's nothing outside of you that you will be a vibrational match for if you do not first feel it inside of your body. I'm having a full reaction. My whole body just got chills. Yeah. You got to get your nervous system ready for leisure. Ready for leisure. Yeah. Because all those unpacked emotions, they're going to come up. So it's going to be wild. Look at this. I got no makeup on. My hair's all over the place. Flow is happening. I got napkins, serviettes freaking everywhere. And it's just kind of awesome, right? It's kind of a blessing to be a woman, to be a divine feminine woman. It's an absolute blessing. And I ran from this. So true. I tried for so long. I know my father wanted a boy and he got 3 girls. We all felt that. That's not his fault. That was the contract. So I think that's it for today. Anything else? That's it. I love you so much. Please comment your questions. Please comment what you would like for the next video. Please express yourself. How are you feeling stepping into your feminine? Is it awkward? Does it feel like, are you feeling emotions that aren't yours? I know I'm trying to leave it. Also, if you are doing this work, it's possible that you might be the first feminine in a long time in your line to be able to feel as deeply as you're feeling. So when you're feeling it, that's another version. You're feeling it for all your past selves, for your future selves, for the collective, for the quantum, as well as for your entire ancestral line. That's power. That is strength. That's being a queen. So thank you for doing the work you're doing. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you for being here, and please reach out directly if you have any questions, if you are in need. I have many offerings. They're all listed below. Please reach, if you're not sure exactly where to start, we can set up a free 15-minute consultation. We can kind of decide together how I can best be of service for you. There are buttons below for donations. There are buttons below if any of my content has ever been helpful for you, or if I've been a light in your dark space and you'd like to pay it forward. There's a few buttons below that you are welcome to donate. So thank you. I love you. Ciao. See you soon.